I'm smiling for 2 days. Good afternoon. First of all, I think I have to, and I do it. I do it with a bit of sadness, but I have to do it. I have to speak about Mauricio. I have to congratulate him for the work he did, and I have to share with you what we already share indoors, which is this club will be always his home. This training ground will be always his training ground. He can come when he wants, when he miss the players, when he miss the people that he work with. The door is always open for him. And from my experience, tomorrow is another day, and you will find happiness again. You will find a great club again, and you will have a great future. Would be in modern days. In relation to your question, I'm a bit disappointed that you are happy that I'm here, because I thought you'd like to keep me at Sky. But that's okay. We are friends, and you know very, very well that I enjoy what I did, but this is my life, and this is where I belong, and this is what really makes me happy. So yes, I'm not smiling as much today because I have a game in 2 days and not long time to work. But deep inside, I'm really, really happy, and every minute I spend in the club, I realize, happiness-wise and convincement that my choice was a great one, a 10. I couldn't be happier. In relation to the difficulty of the job, every time a club changes at mid-season, is because the situation is not good. That's obvious. Unless something strange happens that we don't know outside, basically the results sometimes make these decisions. And of course it's not easy, but if I forget, I can't forget, but if I forget that in 2 days I have a match, if I forget that in 4 days I have another match, and that we need results, and that we have objectives, if I can forget that, I wouldn't say a great job, because the potential of the club is huge, the potential of the players is great. I'm so happy. It was one of the reasons why I come, was because the vision that Mr. Levy put in front of me about his club, and the quality of the players, the quality of the squad, were the main reasons why I decided to come. So I know that I have potentially a great job in my hands, and I cannot think that I can come and in 2 days or 4 days to change things. I don't have a great experience of getting teams in mid-season. It's only the second time I do it. I did it in Porto in I think 2001, and but I thought about it during these months, because I had obviously the feeling that I'm going to get a team mid-season. So I thought about it a lot, and the conclusion was I'm going to have always a game 2 days after my appointment or 3 days after. I need to go through stability. I need to trust the base, and the base is the work that was done before. And they were in hands of a good manager, they were in hands of a good coaching staff. Of course, we have always principles of play, we have always principles in our leadership style that are going to change, that's obvious. But I cannot come here and think that it's about my fingerprint, it's about myself. It's not about myself, it's about the players. I think so, I believe so, I have to believe so. I always thought that these 11 months were not a waste of time. These 11 months were months to think, to analyze, to rethink, to prepare to anticipate things, and I think so. I think you never lose your DNA, you never lose your identity. You are what you are, for the good things, for the bad things. But I had time to think about many things. Don't ask me what are the mistakes, but I realized that during my career I also made mistakes, and I'm not going to make the same mistakes. I'm going to make new mistakes, not the same mistakes. So I had time. I think I'm stronger, and when I say I'm stronger, I'm not saying I'm fitter. I was always fit, but I think I'm stronger by the emotional point of view. I'm relaxed. I'm motivated. I'm ready, and I think the players they felt that in 2 days. I think they felt that I'm ready. I'm ready to support them. This is not about me. I think in your career you go through moments, not just in your career, I think also in our lives you go through moments and through periods, and I am in a period where it's not about myself at all. It's about my club, it's about my club fans, it's about my players, it's not about me. I'm just here to try to help everyone. I am humble enough to try to analyze, which was what I did, to try to analyze my career, not just the last year, but to analyze my career, the evolution, the problems, the solutions. I was humble enough for that. The principle of the analyze was not to blame anyone else. And when I had meetings with my assistants and the people that I thought about bringing to work with me in this chapter, was always based on the principle there is nobody else to blame, there is nobody else to analyze, it's just only about us. And that was a great thing, because I went really deep in that analyze, and was very important for me. And I'm nobody to advise people, but sometimes to have a break looked very, very positive for me. I can say that because it was the first summer that I didn't work, was not easy. I felt a little bit lost during that pre-season period. But before that and after that was a learning process. I even learned how to be a pundit. I have to go to Google Translator to understand what mojo is. But I can more or less feeling what you mean. When I don't win, I cannot be happy, and I cannot change that in my DNA. And I hope I can influence the players of not be happy without winning football matches. If you are happy by losing football matches, it's difficult to be a winner in any moment of your career. That's a basic principle. But the emotional control, to keep the self-esteem, to keep confidence in yourself, to show confidence to the others, to keep confidence in the other ones that work with you and around you. I think this is a very, very important principle. And another thing that I also have to learn, but the people that works with me, they have also to learn. I think they have to see me as Mr. Inter, Mr. Real Madrid, Mr. Porto. I think they have to see me as Mr. Club, which means every club that I go, as I used to say in a funny way, I arrive, I wear the pyjama of the club, and I even sleep with the pyjama. I work and I sleep, tracksuit, pyjama. You confuse the tracksuit with the pyjama. So that's the way I am. I am a club man, but many clubs man. I decided in my career to have this adventure, go through different countries until I did it, what I call the Grand Slam Italy, Spain, and England, Spain, and Italy. I didn't stop. I wanted to do it, and I did it with this passion. Then, of course, the Premier League is what I always told is my natural habitat. Is where I most loved. Is where I feel that if I have the options, I always told that is the football country and the football league that I consider the best, the most enjoyable, and where I'm happy. So when you decide to stay more years in the same country in modern football, I think Mr. Wenger was probably the last of that generation of a big era in the football club. Sir Alex, then Mr. Wenger. Mauricio, 5.5 years is amazing, is really amazing. So it's normal that you change from club to club. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow Mauricio is the manager of another English club. And this is modernity in football, and people has to look for that. And if I play against one of my previous clubs, which I will, at least Chelsea and Manchester United, but hopefully Inter or Real Madrid in the Champions League, Porto no, because they are in the Europa League this season. But if I play against one of my teams, which I did many times, I have only one shirt, I have only one passion, I have only one thing in my mind, which is my clubs, and now is Spurs. I won the Champions League with Porto, and 3 months later I was playing against Porto. And that's just life, and that's the way it is. So I'm not Chelsea, I'm not United, I'm not Real Madrid, I'm not Inter. I am all of them. I give everything to all of them, and that's what I'm going to do here, is to give absolutely everything I have. It's too early days, second day. I had no time for individual cases. I don't know how I can influence or try to influence. I didn't have time, Mr. Levy didn't have time to go around this. The first thing, I think it is the players to feel good, and if they are going to leave in January, if they are going to leave in June, if they are going to sign a new contract, I think everything has to be based on feeling good. And feel good is to be ready for Saturday, to be there, available for the team, which Jon cannot do because of injuries, but to be ready for the team. Then it's about the club, it's about them, it's about me, it's about Mr. Levy, but fundamentally it's about the players to be happy. You have to be happy. You have to choose what makes you happy. So let's see. But in this moment, let's go on the short term, and the short term is we have to try to get 2 results in the next 2 matches.
Players.
I'm thinking about gifts I have to give to the people I love, and that is always a problem because I always like to give the best gifts. I always try to be very analytical and try to understand what people would love as a gift. Players, the best gift is the ones that are here. I don't need players. I'm so happy with the players I have. I just need time to understand them better, to know everything about them. Because I always say, you only know a player when you work with them. Of course, how many times I watch these guys, how many times I play against them. I know them well, but you never know them well enough until you work with them. And my gift is this squad. The squad is very, very good. I don't want to make big changes. As I was saying before, I want to respect the base, and the base is the work they did for 5.5 years. It's not the work they did for 2 days. The work they did for 2 days is, we hope that it is a plus, that it is an update, is not a change. The base is what they did before. This is not about me. This is not about me coming here and say everything was wrong with Mauricio. Not at all. Not at all. I just come to try to understand why in the last year the results in the Premier League were not good, and to try to understand how I can help them to reach again a good level. Because as I was saying, the players are very good, and I'm not here to make dramatic changes. I'm just here to, I don't know, because I never lost a Champions League final, but I can imagine it's not easy. You know, you reach one of the biggest moments that you can achieve in football. You are one step away from it. You cannot do it. I can imagine that is not easy. But you have the example of Liverpool, that one year they lost the Premier League by 1 point, and they lost the Champions League by 1 goal. And the next season, which is the current season, they are very strong in the Premier League. And last season, which is the season after they lost the Champions League final, they went very, very strong and they win it. So I don't think there is something that we can say there is a rule. Depend on the way people react to it. And of course, I don't want to go as deep as that. Before I was sacked.
How do you think the fans will respond to you, Chelsea fans, next month?
You know, that's modern football. You know, when my father was a player, and before the Bosman law, the players used to play 20 years in the same club, every day with the same player next to him, the same guy on the right side in the dressing room, the same centre back in front of the keeper, for 15 years, for 20 years. In this moment, in relation to players, after Bosman law, everything changed. In relation to us coaches, because in some part because of you, we lost that stability. There is lots of pressure. Even for the nature of society now, it looks like everything is fast. Even the relationships are fast. Players can get tired of each other. They can get tired of the manager. Everything looks like is faster. So we need to change. So when I went to Manchester United, we are not even speaking about Tottenham Hotspurs. When I went to Manchester United, if I stay in England only for Chelsea, I'll have to be waiting for a third opportunity. Probably third opportunity, another Premier League, because every time I go there, I win the Premier League. But that's not the point. So I went to Manchester United with a free mind, with a free heart. Manchester United occupied my heart, even with things that I didn't enjoy too much, but I loved so much of the Manchester United things, the fans, the people that works in the club. I just love it. And now it's about Spurs, and I just hope that I can be really, really happy here, make people happy, and there is not a bigger, let's say, fan than myself. If somebody in the world wants Spurs to win, wants Spurs to be successful, there is not one person that wants more than me. Probably the same, but not more than me. So Chelsea is past, great past. You know, two periods of titles, great past, but it's past. We cannot win the Premier League this season. We can. I'm not saying we will do. We can win next season. As I always say, there is not one manager in the world that doesn't like to play and to help young players to develop. The problem is that some of them, they have the young players to bring them, and some they don't. I was lucky to have Scott McTominay as a kid, Rafael Varane as a kid, Balotelli as a kid. I was lucky to have talents in the majority of the clubs where I've been. So if Tottenham is a great academy that produces great players, is also something nice.
Thanks.
I think if we win titles, will be the consequence not of me, but the consequence of the club work. And this is a package. This is a vision. Everything starts with a vision. And the stadium is part of the vision. The training ground is part of the vision. The academy is part of the vision. To try to keep all the best players and to refuse to let the best players go away is part of the vision too. Maybe to have a manager with my experience is also part of the vision. I think this is about the vision, and if we win a title, doesn't matter when. My contract is 3.5 years. If we win a title during my period, will not be because of myself. It's just the natural consequence of a vision and a plan. If you want to call my friends at Real Madrid, yeah, I speak with them many times. I have so many friends there. The president is the first one. He loves me, I love him. We are friends. We speak. We change an SMS. We wish luck. Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, good luck for the game. I have friends. I loved my period there, as you know. We did amazing things in there. We had our problems, we had our frustrations, but it was an amazing period for me. I feel always very flattered when I leave these things behind me, which go above success, above football. Is about the human being, is about the relations. I received 50 messages yesterday from Manchester United people. Some players, some staff over the different areas of the club, the board, everybody. And that for me means the world. It's not about winning, not winning. It's about the respect that people has for you, because you were a good professional, because you were a good person, because you create empathies. So Real Madrid is part of my life, a good part of my life, and I always wish them good. I'm always happy when Real Madrid goes in the right direction, and a part of, if we play them in Champions League, a part of that match, I just want Real Madrid to win and to be successful.